Ignite gets it away. Turbo pulls it off the respawn onto the backboard, running low on boost, but finds the angle himself. You heard them on the desk talking about it. What a play! Are you kidding me? Squishy and Gimmick tag team the fourth one.
Not very often do I genuinely have no clue a goal's about to happen. What on earth? Squishy!
Goal for sure from midfield. The quick pass across the pitch, broken up by Torsos. Back over. You can't stop it. What a beautiful play. Control of the ball. Looking to flick to Gimmick. Gimmick shoots and he gets the goal. 1-0 for Cloud9.
Look at how much space Torment has, all of the middle third of the field, and he just finds Gimmick.
Oh, and a great pitch.
He did it! He did it!
The Cuxer pitch. The man is a legend. Rebang up high against the back wall. Kami, that shot. Kami gets the goal for the Chiefs. They tie it up.
And again, this could be the spark for the Chiefs.
Cloud9. Quick follow-up from the Chiefs. Kami's there. The pass to dump over to Torsos. Up high. Dripping. Scores! The Chiefs up 2-0.
Oh, the pressure.
Hello, welcome back to RL Talk. Today I'm going to be reviewing week 5 of RLCS Season 9. I'm not joined by Josh because, as I said, his audio isn't currently being recorded. Like his application that he uses to record his audio isn't working at the moment. So we're still trying to figure that one out, but we'll get to a solution as soon as we can. It might even take until after regionals, but we'll see what happens, and we'll try and keep you updated on that. Remember to join the Discord. Join the Discord. We have a link in the description if you want to join the Discord. And let's just get into it with North America. By the way, this is a week 5 and 6 review, so as you can tell by the title. So week 5, North America. Our games were Flight versus E United, Ghost versus Rogue, Sonics versus the Knights, G2 versus E United, Space Station versus Cloud9, and NRG versus Pittsburgh Knights. So, Flight beat E United in a shock 3-1 series. Then Ghost beat Rogue 3-2 in a 5-game thriller. Susquehanna Sonics also beat Pittsburgh Knights in 5 games in a 5-game in a good series. Then G2 beat E United 3-1 in a relatively easy series. SSG then also beat Cloud9 in a relatively easy series 3-1. And then for our match of the day, the best match of the game week, NRG versus Pittsburgh Knights, a really good 5-game thriller. But weirdly, that left both teams that played twice with 2 losses. Neither team won if the teams that played twice didn't win. So, what that does for the standings of week 5 is G2 5-0 at a +11 game differential. Second, NRG 5-1 at a +8 game differential. Third, the Sonics 4-1 at a +5 game differential. Fourth, Space Station 4-1, also at a +5 game differential. Fifth, Ghost 3-3 at a +1 game differential. 6th, Pittsburgh Knights 2-4 at a -3 game differential. 7th, E United 2-4 at a -3 game differential as well. Then 8th, Cloud9 1-4 at a -6 game differential. 9th, Flight 1-5 at a -8 game differential, and 10th, Rogue 1-5 at a -10 game differential. So now over to week 6, where our games for the day in North America were Space Station versus Flight, Susquehanna Sonics versus United, Ghost Gaming versus G2 Esports, Rogue versus Pittsburgh Knights, and Cloud9 versus NRG Esports. Don't know why I said all their full names, just felt like it. So, what happened on this day? Well, Space Station Gaming beat Flight 3-0, so they beat them in a sweep. Then Susquehanna Sonics went 2 games up, and one of their members had a fire alarm in their apartment go off, but that didn't faze them as they won the 3rd game to beat United 3-0 and stay in front of SSG. Then our 3rd game of the day, Ghost beat G2, which leaves no undefeated teams in either NA or EU. Then Rogue beat Pittsburgh Knights in a 5-game thriller, which could be critical for Rogue's season. And Cloud9, with possibly the upset of the week, including EU for week 6 and week 5, sweeping NRG to rocket boost themselves into a chance of the regional championships. So, what this does for the table: G2 first, 5-1 at a +9 game differential. Then 2nd and 3rd, Susquehanna Sonics and Space Station, 5-1 at a +8 game differential. 4th, NRG, 5-2 at a +5 game differential. 5th, Ghost, 4-3 at a +3 game differential. 6th, Cloud9, 2-4 at a -3 game differential. 7th, Pittsburgh Knights, 2-5 at a -4 game differential. Then 8th, United, 2-5 at a -6 game differential. 9th, Rogue, 2-5 at a -9 game differential. And 10th, Flight, 1-6 and at a -11 game differential, which I'm pretty sure, yes, it basically means they cannot get to regionals. Pretty much, like, realistically, they're not going to get to regionals, but they still can, but they're not going to. So, yeah. Now, over to EU for our double header of week 5 and week 6, where things were also relatively interesting, although I wouldn't say it contained. I'd say the results or the games were closer in Europe than to North America, which for some people might say it's a bit controversial because I'm from Europe. I'll be like, oh, you're only saying that because you're from Europe, but like, you can't really deny that the teams in Europe don't really score a lot of goals, but that's just how they play. But the games are normally a lot closer. Although this theory might become wrong the further into the podcast we get. But anyway, let's go. So, games were Singularity versus TSM, Veloce versus Monaco, Reciprocity versus Endpoint, Mouse versus TSM, Dig versus Barcelona, and Vitality versus Reciprocity. So, our results were Singularity beating TSM in a very crucial 5-game thriller for their seasons. I think if whichever team won this, put themselves in a great position for avoiding the promotion playoffs. To avoid the automatic relegation. Get into the promotion playoffs. So yeah, Singularity held off TSM's reverse sweep attempt and beat them 3-2. Then Veloce with a relatively easy 3-1 against Monaco. Reciprocity followed suit against Endpoint, and Mouse did as well against TSM. So those 3 teams making their lives quite relatively easy with 3-1 wins. Then Dignitas beat Barcelona in a very interesting 5-game series where Dignitas won game 1, 3 and 5, and Barcelona won 2 and 4. And then our final game of the day, Renault Vitality versus Reciprocity. Renault Vitality coming out as the victors, 3-1, after Reciprocity took the first game. Most people would have thought, and you wouldn't be incorrect to have thought, that this series was going to go to 5 games. But with about 30 seconds left, Vitality scored to make it 2-1 to Reciprocity, and then they scored again within 20 seconds, I believe, and then 20 seconds into overtime they won the game and the series against Reciprocity. So the league table after week 5 of RLCS Season 9 in Europe goes a little bit like this. At first, Dignitas 5-0 at a +7 game differential. Then joint second, Vitality and Veloce 5-1 at a +9 game differential. Then then fourth, Barcelona 3-2 at a +3 game differential. Then also joint fourth of Barcelona is Mouse 3-2, also at a +3 game differential. Sixth, Reciprocity 3-3 at a +1 game differential. Seventh, TSM 2-4 at -7 game differential. Eighth, Endpoint 1-4 at a -6 game differential. Ninth, TSM 1-5 at a -7 game differential. And 10th, Monaco 0-6 and at a -12 game differential. So now over to week 6 fixtures, where we had Barcelona against Singularity, Endpoint versus TSM, Mouse versus Veloce, Reciprocity versus Monaco, and Vitality versus Dignitas. So they went a little bit like this. Barcelona beating Team Singularity in a 5-game series, which I don't think a lot of people really expected it to go to 5 games, but it did. But Barcelona still came out with the win, so not really a upset there. Then Endpoint swept TSM. I thought they would beat TSM. I don't think Josh did, but I did think they were going to sweep them. Then Mouse swept Veloce as well. Maybe Veloce shouldn't be as hyped up as they should. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but maybe their result against Reciprocity was just a one-off, because they did lose to Barcelona and Mouse, and they still haven't played Dignitas or Vitality yet. So anyway, then Reciprocity making life easy for themselves again, I would say, after beating Monaco 3-1. I believe that is the past 4 series Reciprocity's played in has been 3-1. 2 going against them and 2 for them. Then our final game of the day, a reverse sweep from Renault Vitality on Dignitas, after we got midway through the 3rd game and Dignitas gave Renault Vitality a free goal to basically level it up and send it to overtime. And then after that happened, Dignitas just went down, and boom, everything went wrong for Dignitas, and Renault Vitality came out as the victors, I guess. So, the table at the current time for Europe, Renault Vitality 6-1 at a +10 game differential in first. Second, Dignitas 5-1 at a +6 game differential. Third, Veloce 5-2 at a +6 game differential. Then fourth, Mouse, 4 and 2 at a +6 game differential. Fifth, Barcelona, 4 and 2 at a +4 game differential. Sixth, Reciprocity, 4 and 3 at a +3 game differential. Seventh, Endpoint, 2 and 4 at a -3 game differential. So they're looking like they could be the team that doesn't really do anything. They don't get involved in regionals, but they still stay in RLCS Season 10 as like that's a thing that they'll definitely be confirmed for RLCS Season 10. Then 8th, Team Singularity, 2 and 5 at a -8 game differential. 6th, TSM, 1 and 6 at a -10 game differential. And then 10th, Monaco, 0 and 7 at a -14 game differential, which doesn't completely put them out of the running for 7th, I believe. I believe they can still make it if they got 2, if they swept, which probably won't happen if they've already lost all their games up to this point, but it could. If they swept Barcelona and Singularity, they would definitely have a chance. If they beat them as the average result, which would be 3-1, then they wouldn't be able to do that. So that would also rely on Endpoint getting swept as well. So yeah, very hard for Monaco to not make it at this point, but they can still get themselves out of auto relegation, because Endpoint has to play Team Singularity, and TSM don't exactly have the easiest 2 games left either, against Reciprocity and Barcelona. So it could still happen, but I don't think it will. Anyway, those 2 regions are over finally, and well, you know, for this podcast, and we go over to South America now, where we got to the penultimate week of their season. So this week, this weekend will be the final game week for them. So yeah. So the matches were Novus AV versus 3-point shooters, Poison Bullets versus Sapphire, the 3 Sins versus True Neutral, Avidity versus 3-point shooters, and Most Wanted versus Sapphires. So, sorry, the matches went like this. Novus AV sweeping the 3-point shooters, pretty much denying the 3-point shooters of a spot into the regionals. Then the Poison Bullets beat Sapphire in a reverse sweep, and then 3 Sins swept True Neutral, making that very easy for themselves. Actually clean sweeping them. True Neutral didn't score a single goal, whilst the 3 Sins scored 12. Then Avidity beat 3-point shooters, apart from the first game, which went to an overtime. The other 2 were fairly simple, so that means that they were easily able to sweep them. And then final game, Most Wanted beat Sapphire 3-2 in a very interesting game, which was very interesting, because if one of the teams won, they would have gone in front of the other one, or they would have been ahead of the other one in the table. So what it does do for the table: first, Novus AV 5-0 at a +12 game differential. Second, the 3 Sins 4-1 at a +7 game differential. Third, Avidity 4-2 and at a +5 game differential. Fourth, Most Wanted 3-2 at a +2 game differential. Fifth, Poison Bullets 2-4 at a -5 game differential. 6th, Sapphire 2-4 at -6 game differential after those forfeits on the first week. Their game differential has not been recovered ever since, which could affect them if they don't win their series next week, which is very likely considering the people that they are playing. 7th, True Neutral 1-4 at a -7 game differential. Then 8th, 3-point Shooters at 1-5, and that's a -8 game differential. So it's very interesting in South America for the bottom kind of 4 teams. Well, the 5th, 6th, and 7th is very interesting. Because True Neutral has to play 2 games, whilst Poison Bullets and Sapphire only have to play 1, but they are all very close in the game differential at -5, -6, and -7th in order of standings. So if I would just tell you those 3 teams' fixtures: True Neutral has to play Most Wanted and 3-point Shooters. Poison Bullets have to play Avidity, and Sapphire has to play the three Sins. So it looks like they could all lose those series next week, but we'll have to wait and see until then. Now over to our final region of the day. It's Oceania, where there are only 4 games, so this should be relatively quick, but yep. So our matches for the week were Renegades versus Team Esper, Ground Zero versus Team Fury, Overts versus Cringe Society, and Mind Freak versus Canberra Havoc. So Renegades beat Team Esper in a 5-game thriller. Just very close games. Only Game 4 is the only game that didn't go to overtime. Then Ground Zero swept Team Fury pretty comfortably, although the final game did go to overtime. That doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't have control of that game, or like it was comfortable. Overt then swept Cringe Society 2-1 in every single game was the score, actually, which is very interesting. And then Mind Freak beat Canberra Havoc 3-1 after winning game 2, 3, and 4 after Canberra Havoc took their first game of the season. So yeah. So what that does for the standings: Mind Freak first, 3-0 at a +5 game differential. Second, Ground Zero 2-1 at a +4 game differential. Third, Cringe Society 2-1 at a +3 game differential. Fourth, Renegades 2-1 at a +2 game differential. Fifth, Overt 1-2 at a 0 game differential. Sixth, Team Esper 1-2 at a -2 game differential. Seventh, Fury 1-2 at a -4 game differential. And 8th, Canberra Havoc 0-3 and at a -8 game differential. So that does it for the podcast this week. Join me and possibly Josh if we can get it to work, get his audio transferred and recorded on Saturday. Yeah, hope you guys have had a lovely time, and I hope you have a good day tomorrow or the rest of the day. And yeah, until I see you next time, goodbye. Goodbye. Next time, goodbye.
I think I need therapy when my feet gets the best of me. I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You've been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. I didn't know I was this. I can't seem to understand how you got all that finesse. Still been running in circles inside my head.